Good afternoon. I am Phuong. Today I will be presenting on the chapter 7 of sensory marketing, sensory principle for taste. This chapter will help us understand how can taste be used in branding, product design, and customer experience to create lasting impressions for customer. Starting off, I want to introduce why taste matters. So, taste is not just about eating. It's a multisensory experience that impacts how we feel, what we remember, and how we make decisions. From the taste of like a dish, like a food or a drink, to the tastefulness of a logo or even store design is also can be apply with the taste. So brands can use taste to trigger emotion and shape consumer preferences, especially in industries where pleasure and experience matter. In this chapter, we will discover two types of taste: gastronomic and aesthetic taste, it will be explained in this table. So for this table, uh, researchers call this the sense of taste, so combining both gastronomic and aesthetic dimensions. Um, so this taste in this chapter is have two sides, gastronomic and aesthetic. Gastronomic taste refers to the appreciation of flavors and sensation experienced through the sense of taste, while aesthetic taste encompasses the broader appreciation and experience of beauty or artistic qualities, including those found in food presentation in even the dining environments besides the food. So gastronomic taste is straightforward. The physical and emotional experience of consuming a food or drink, like enjoying a delicious bowl of pho. But aesthetics taste, on the other hand, is more abstract. It comes from cultural exposure, personal preferences, and it refers to our judgment of what is tasteful or beautiful. And it's deeply shaped by culture, class, and trends. For example, like the minimal or sleek packaging design, we cannot taste it by our tongue, but and so then that design, that how we look at the packaging is aesthetic taste. So in marketing, these two types of taste, they interact with each other. A product must taste good, but if it also looks good and feels premium, elegant, or aligned with the brand identity, is more likely to succeed rather than just gastronomic taste. So brands succeed in sensory marketing are those that can blend these two features, the two aspects together. So think of Nespresso, the brand for coffee machines, where the coffee tastes great, the gastronomic in the pots, the stores, and the machine that looks luxurious. That is the aesthetic taste. Um, and next, we will find out the psychological characteristic of taste. So psychologically, taste comes from taste buds on our tongue and throat. This, like on the picture here, that is the zoom out image of taste bud on our tongue. It is very small and it is in charge of our taste perception. They can detect five basic flavors like bitter, salty, sour, sweet, and umami. Our taste buds are constantly replaced, so taste perception can evolve over our whole lifetime. Importantly, taste is not isolated, so it's deeply connected with other senses. For example, up to like 80% of what we perceive as taste of coffee actually come from the smell of coffee, and the rest is out the tongue job to taste it. Um, Synesthesia explain how seeing a certain color might trigger an associate taste or smell. Um, So the next aspect is the psychological characteristic. So taste have strong psychological effect, emotional sense. It would affect our mood or well-being, evoke nostalgia, or create comfort. So our decisions about food are often based on past experience, like memories. Um, think of your favorite dish. You when you like haven't tasted your childhood dish for a long time, and then when you retry it, it would bring back very realistic memories. So in hedonic experience, the peak moment, the most instant pleasure shape memory more than how long the experience lasted. This will explain why restaurants focus more on memorable signature dishes or the last bite of a tasting menu. So about taste and culture, they also have a lot of association with each other. So taste perception isn't just biology; it's also cultural. It is a identity marker to social class and cultural capital. Our taste reflects our identity and social status. So our preferences come from both heredity, like our genes, what we inherit from our parents, from our ancestors. So it is our saliva composition, our genes, our taste buds, and environment also. Just as the food we grow up eating, some tastes are universal, others are acquired through culture. For example, coffee, bitter greens, or spicy food. And at a group level, meals are served as bonding rituals from family dinners to national holidays, shaped by staples and traditions that design cuisines. For example, you can think of this as like Vietnamese people and French people and Chinese people. They have very kind of different tastes and different preferences for food. For Vietnamese, we like food with rice, fish sauce, and fresh herbs. On the other hand, the French they like the taste of bread more than the rice. They like cheese and they like wines. And for Chinese, it might be rice, soy sauce, stir fry, more like on the olive side. So this like further emphasize that taste is inherently influenced by culture. And in taste symbolism, um, gastronomic taste is grounded in our biological setting, but aesthetic taste is more in cultural and society. Like I mentioned about the earlier slide, so gastronomic would be more on the physiological side, and the sex state would relate more to culture. So different socio-economic groups, like what our backgrounds is, often have distant, very distinct preferences, not just in food but in presentation and the style. On the aesthetic side, sometimes the choices reinforce existing norms, other times they challenge them. So think of a bold food trend or provocative restaurant concept. It would strike some kind of curiosity and reinforce the consumption choice that is challenged. So in service environment, taste is also very important. Marketers can use both gastronomic and aesthetic stimuli. Food samples encourage customers to taste and touch products, often leading to purchase. Aesthetic elements, from lighting to furniture to the plating, how the dish is set up, shape the dining experience. So that is why fine dining, like the model of fine dining, especially relies on these cues to enhance hedonic attitudes and satisfaction. So in brands and products, taste is also very important. For brands, taste they are multi-layered. Gastronomic elements like flavor or spices or quality are obvious, but aesthetic factors like the colors, the packaging, the design can influence our perception just as much as the gastronomic taste. Taste goods like fashion, food, gourmet food depend heavily on subjective taste. So this leads to a very interesting example. So we all know about like food reviewers on TikTok and social media platforms. So uh, it is very interesting because the subjectivity of taste is similar to how these reviewers, like those on TikTok, they operate. So their reviews are often based on their personal impressions and emotions rather than like a standardized criteria. So as a result, reviewers for the same products can be wildly different. One person amazing might be another's overhyped. So this reinforces how personal taste can create divided opinions and unpredictable consumer responses. Um, and interestingly, brand perception can outweigh the actual taste. So in a lot of blind tests, like Coke blind tests and ice cream blind tests, preferences sometimes shift when branding is removed. So this is very interesting in tasting in brands and products. So I want to wrap up this chapter by the key takeaways. So to summarize, taste isn't about flavor. It's a dual senses between gastronomic and aesthetic taste, shaped by our physiology, psychology, and culture. It's also influence our identity, how we feel about ourselves, and how we want to other people to perceive our mood, our emotion, and the purchase decisions. So it is a very powerful tool for marketers, whether through a product, actual flavor, or the environment that frames it. So lastly, I will be presenting about the final chapter on sensory marketing, multisensory principle. So today I'll guide you through the world of multisensory marketing. This chapter is really important because it is a combination, like the takeaway of all the previous chapter about five senses that we learned in all the marketing implementation for these five senses. So let's start with the introduction. So when we think of marketing, we often think of like visuals, logos, ads, and packaging. But brands today they go beyond that. They aim to engage both all the like hearing, smell, touch, and even taste to create a deeper emotional connection. So this strategy is called multisensory marketing. The idea is simple but powerful. The more senses you involve, the more engaging and memorable the experience becomes. So let's first kick off with the this content about the human senses in collaboration. Like all the five human senses, we have previously learned how they work in collaboration with each other. So they don't work in isolation. The brand combines them and to help us understand and navigate the world. So externally, we perceive taste, smell, sight, like walking into a cafe and sensing like the aroma of coffee, the coffee smell. And in contrast, internally, we imagine those experiences. Even thinking about coffee can trigger memory and emotion. This is called sensory integration, the brand's way of like merging inputs into one coherent perception. Brands can tap into both our external senses and our internal imagination to create powerful association. So more about sensory integration. It allows us to perform our daily tasks and even identifying danger or enjoying a meal in involuntary senses like the like vision, sound, and smell help early humans as they help us shop and choose brands. So that's why brands can literally leverage sensory collaboration. So for vision, sound, and touch, they are interplaying with each other. So what does interplay mean? So visions often leads in perception. They are at the top, so it's fast and reliable. It provides the most dominant and immediate information about something about into our perception about products and environments, and then sound will complement the visual. Think of the like the click sound of a luxury pen or engine roar or sports car. And lastly, touch will add a deeper layer, like how we feel the texture, the temperature, the weight, all influence perceived quality. So together they enable really precise actions like hand-eye coordination and object exploration. So, for example, think of unboxing a smartphone. So the sleek visuals of the unbox of the box and the satisfying clicks or buttons, the smooth surface, it will all build a really strong anticipation from us. So that's how they these vision, sound, and touch they interact. They each sensing. Each sense will reinforce the others to create a premium feel about the product, about the unboxing. Brands can use this interplay to build some sensory harmony. And the goal is to ensure that you see, hear, and feel tell the same story. So about the multisensory phenomenon, so let's go deeper into this integration between multisensory and multisenses. So multisensory perception, they combine input into a unified brand experience. So when multisenses interact, we form deeper, more memorable impressions. This is called the like multisensory perception. So research shows that we can learn about brands faster when more of our senses are involved. So think simple like that. If we have only unisensory experience, that means that we only use one of the five senses. The experience is less deep than the multisensory experience. So that's when we combine all the senses, the more the merrier. So if we have more senses to engage, the experience will be deeper and more powerful. But there's a limit because of the optimal stimulation theories. It tells us that we crave balance. So the sensory experience must be not too little but not too much. For example, a mall that plays too loud music and pumps in lemon scent might overwhelm the shopper, so they end up spending less, not more. So that's why marketer must curate the sensory input carefully, seeking harmony and not chaos for the products or the brand. About multisensory in service environment, so physical environments, they must use all five senses to influence our mood, our behavior, and perception. It influences us more than we realize. So when a service environment stimulates multiple senses in a coordinated way, it feels immersive and enjoyable. So studies also shows that concurrence really matters because like slow paced music and calming lavender scents, uh, that working together harmoniously must would improve the consumer mood and evaluation of the space. So an example is that IKEA, for example, they manipulated the lighting, the color, and the scent in their glassware section. So the result is that shoppers spent more time browsing. They touched the product more often and they bought more products, especially premium items. So the takeaway here is that senses work best in harmony, not isolation. So about brands and products, it adds multi-sensory interaction. So we often evaluate products using more than just one sense, especially vision and touch. So because brands are perceived by how they look, how they smell, how they sound, and even taste, it is very important for this brand to take into consideration about how we evaluate the product. So for example, when we see a product that looks soft, we expect it to feel soft also. But if it doesn't, we either feel disappointed or intrigued. So this kind of incongruence. So concurrence is when the senses work harmoniously, and incongruence is the contrast. Some senses they might crash with each other. And this incongruence can actually be used for the brand's advantage. Surprisingly, to make a surprise for the consumer, like surprise consumer and create a memorable moments. So the more senses a brand stimulates, the stronger the impression it leaves behind. So from uh, for example, if we see a mismatch between softness in the visuals and the rough texture, may invite deeper exploration for the consumer. So that's where Incurrence step in and makes the interaction more strong, more powerful. So this can be applied from luxury perfumes to smartphone packaging. Sensory details speak a lot of volumes about brand experiences. A brand experience can become multisensory when one modern sense is engaged at one. It doesn't stop at the store or the product. It continues across every customer touch point. So for example, casinos and spas, they use all five senses. They use sound, scent, color, food, and even tactile gaming chips to keep people like more immersed in the experience. And for spas, they rely on lighting, calming sounds, texture, like from the sheets, from the bed sheets and the towel, and scent to evoke peace and well-being. So even online brands are using AR and VR to stimulate how clothes feels or smell. But always balance is essential. It can is the key because of a stimulation can reduce comfort and trust. So a really interesting case study of this is Meta. They are pouring a lot of money into AR, VR, and even AI in their technology through like Meta West platform, Spark AR in Meta Horizon Suite. So they are developing these AR goggles and they are selling them to customer at really high prices because customer they demand this kind of multisensory experience. They want to immerse themselves in the technology in these five senses. Um, Another case study. So let's look at Starbucks. So they are a physical world example of multisensory marketing. So for vision, the lighting they use very warm lighting. If you will notice, they only use like yellow and warmer color lighting, earthy colors, and handwritten styles menu to make spaces feel cozy but also visually engaging. And their latte ads also add a really personal aesthetic touch. On the sound side, they curate their playlist, acoustic, jazz, indie that match the brand's relaxed yet really premium feel. The remix hits and the grind of the coffee machines also signal freshness and authenticity. For smell, the rich aroma of freshly ground coffee is a central brand asset. They carefully limit strong food scents that could overpower the coffee smell. For touch, it's also very important, like texture of the cup sleeve. Like the when we hold a cup, we touch the cup sleeve. The smooth ceramic mugs and comfortable seating with varied materials all invite really physical engagement. And of course, tastes because all like at the core, Starbucks is still like F&B brand, so taste is the most important. Starbucks offer consistent signature blends in the coffee alongside seasonal flavors and customization, so customer feel their drink is uniquely theirs. So, because Starbucks isn't just selling coffee, it's selling the experience of drinking coffee. every sense works together to make the visit to Starbucks memorable, comfortable, and consistent, whether you're in New York, Tokyo, or Paris, or in Vietnam also. So that is the chapter on multisensory marketing, and I would like to sum up to wrap up the key takeaways. So all five senses they work together to form perception, decision making, how we remember the brain, and yes, all in all, visions dominate, but it's really important. But sound and sense and texture also complete the story. So brand should aim for concurrence between these senses, meaning that balancing like the combination of these five senses to a moderate level, not just throwing in stimuli for the sake of it, because balance is everything. Finally, multisensory marketing is just for physical products. Digital environments, like the case I mentioned about VR, AR, is they also now have the tools to stimulate immersive experience too. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.